Everyone, Joana here. So, in today's vlog, I want to talk and share about my experience when flying and also the fear of flying. So, I have started flying on planes when I was fairly young, about 9 years old, and I remember back then that I was already frightened. I remember to ask the lady at the travel agency if the flight was safe. I was really concerned about it, which was probably I picked that from adults, from my parents. And that fear kept going within me. And although I don't think about it, every time I'm on a plane, I go into this anxiety. My imagination starts going into all sorts of scenarios, usually pretty bad scenarios, I must say. And before I didn't have the tools to deal with it. So I remember like flying was always a bit of a stressful experience. But then when I was landing, it was like, okay, now it's gone. And then I would have to kind of keep going and I would still book trips. But it was never a very smooth experience, especially before and during, and there was always the relief afterwards, like I landed safe. So in my recent experience on my flight to London, I was applying the tools of being stable, of breathing, of stopping the images in my mind, stopping the imagination, and it really helped. I think for the first time, I allowed myself to be relaxed, to really go into a relaxing mode, almost falling asleep, which is really uncommon on the plane, and to not be scary. Although there was a bit of turbulence, I kind of decided it is my decision to be stable, no matter how turbulent the flight is or how calm. I decide who I am. So I breathe through the anxiety in some moments, and I gave me permission to not think about anything else, to just relax, to be there. There wasn't much I could do. I was reading, I could listen to some interviews if I wanted, some podcasts, but this time I just decided to read, and it was really productive. And after maybe half an hour in, I was into it, and I wasn't rushing, kind of wanting time to go fast. And eventually it landed, and I was fine. So for those of you that might have this experience as well, be aware of the thoughts you have. Maybe write them down, see what your mind is showing, and then forgive yourself and allow yourself to change that relationship with being on a plane, like feeling powerless perhaps because you're not in control of the plane, but be in control of yourself, your emotions, what's going on inside, so that you can create the reality that you want, which is calm, peaceful, relaxing, stress-free. And some notes I took when I was on the flight was the fear of the unexpected. That was something I identified. Seeing the worst case scenario, being on a fear mode as opposed to relaxing, the distrust towards the airline, the pilot, the distrust of the system itself, and also because I don't know what is done before the flight and what security is in place. So there was also that fear of the unknown. That constant state of alert, which is very stressful, and it's related to the hormone of cortisol. The belief that my actions will influence the trip, and this is a bit of a religious connotation, like fear of saying something or doing something that could be kind of punished on the plane. So there's still a lot to investigate on that, but I could see my fear of doing certain things or moving a lot and influencing the plane. And then after I wrote this and I was aware of it, in the past I also wrote self-forgiveness on this. I've spoken self-forgiveness out loud, and it really helps to bring me that stability back. And breathing is really important. Just like breathe, focus on yourself, in your breath awareness, so that you allow your body to really decompress, distress, and then you are creating that world within you, no matter how what you're doing or where you are, even if it's at 1,000 feet. So really, yeah, so these are some thoughts and points that will support you if you go into stress in the plane. Remember to apply these tools and to be self-directive in who you are, and don't allow the fear to take over. All right, thanks for listening. I will share some links on the description. Thank you. Bye.